Welcome back to the channel Gadgets for Gentlemen. In today's video I'm going to compare the iPad mini 6th generation that I just purchased to my iPad mini 5th generation that I've been using for about 2 years. This might be a great time to purchase a new iPad mini. However, there could be an iPad mini 7 around the corner. Probably will be announced in September. For me, the reason for buying the iPad mini 6 is now you can get it like on good prices, not with Apple but like with third parties. I bought it for 500 euros. I think that was a great deal. The iPad mini 5 you can probably pick up refurbished or secondhand for very low prices. So this video is just to help you decide what to look for in the iPad mini. The 6th gen that we have here on the right, I purchased it in space gray. It can also be found in starlight, pink and purple. The iPad mini 5th gen can also be found in space gray, the one that I got, in silver and gold. Let's go over the biggest changes, and I'm using the Apple website just to give you the right information. So what we have with the 6th gen is we have an 8.3 inches display. With the 5th gen we have a 7.9 inches display. So if you want a larger display, the 6th gen is the better choice. The biggest change that that made me decide to purchase the 6th gen is the improved chipset. The iPad mini 6th gen has the A15 Bionic chip, while the iPad mini 5 has the A12 Bionic chip. So you can expect much better performances with the iPad mini 6 compared to the 5. Of course, it's not as great as the M1 that you can see with the iPad Air 5th gen and also in the MacBook Air M1. However, I think this is a great chip for a very portable iPad. Also, when we look at the cameras, with the 6th gen, the camera is improved. We have a 12 megapixel compared to a 8 megapixel wide camera. We can do 4K video. With the iPad mini 5 only 1080p video. When we flip the devices, now with the 6th gen we have a 12 megapixel ultra wide front facing camera. And here with the iPad mini 5th gen, we only have 7 megapixel FaceTime HD camera. And with the iPad mini 6th gen, we have center stage, which means the camera will follow you in a video call when you are moving, so on and so forth. Then let's jump to the connector. With the iPad mini 5, we have the Lightning connector here at the bottom part of the device. Again, this is the lightning cable as we all know it. With the 6th gen, we have the USB-C connector here at the bottom part. And with the iPad mini 6th gen comes the USB-C cable as well as the USB-C power adapter. Maybe one of the biggest visual things is the home button. With the 5th gen, it's the Touch ID is located here at the bottom part of the device, and it takes quite some space, as you can see. It's very easy to use. I loved it. With the iPad mini 6, the Touch ID has been integrated in this button here in the top part. But that creates quite some differences in terms of how you use it and in terms of screen real estate. Another difference that I noticed with the iPad mini 5 5th gen, there is speakers here on the bottom part, but not on the top part. So on the part with the lightning port, there is 2 speakers and it makes a nice sound. However, with the brand new iPad mini 6th gen, there is 4 speakers. So there's 2 at the top and there's 2 at the bottom. So I expect the iPad mini 6 to make more sound. The 6th gen, it allows for Wi-Fi 6 and the 5th gen allows for Wi-Fi 5. So I expect better Wi-Fi speeds with the iPad mini 6. The 6th gen also allows for 5G cellular, while the mini only allows for 4G LTE. The 6th gen allows for the 2nd gen of the Apple Pencil, while the 5th gen only allows for the 1st gen. So if you decide to use the iPad mini with the 2nd gen of the Apple Pencil, get the 6. The Apple Pencil has a weird way of connecting it to the lightning port when it comes to the 5th gen. With the iPad mini 6th gen, it magnetically attaches to the iPad, which looks much better in my opinion than having a pencil like basically connected to this port and sticking out. Like, it looks a bit silly, honestly. The Apple mini 6th gen does not allow for Bluetooth keyboards as well as the Magic keyboard. This is kind of weird. That's not an upgrade but a downgrade in my opinion. iPad mini does not allow for Magic keyboard or Bluetooth keyboards, while the iPad mini 5th generation does allow these things. So I think that's kind of strange. It's more a downgrade than an upgrade. Capacity is the same. Now when it comes to the height, the iPad mini 6th gen, as you can see, actually is quite a bit shorter compared to the 5th gen. So we're dealing here with 7.69 inches or 195.4 millimeters in height, while the 5th gen is 8 inches and 203.2 millimeters in height. The width is exactly the same. It's 5.3 inches, which is 134.8 millimeters. The depth, I noticed that the iPad mini 6 is a little bit thicker compared to the 5th gen. We're dealing here with 0.25 inches compared to 0.24 inches, which is 6.3 millimeters compared to 6.1 millimeters. So the iPad mini 6 is a little bit thicker. However, in the weight department, when we look at the Wi-Fi only model that I have currently right here, the 6th gen weighs 0.65 pounds, which is 293 grams, while the iPad mini 5 weighs 0.66 pounds, which is 300.5 grams. So in this process, 7 grams have been reduced in the weight, which I think is a great thing. Now I think maybe one of the biggest improvements again has to be the chipset and has to be the screen size and portability. I think those are the key differences between these devices. The 6th gen now has an 8.3 inches display, while the 5th gen only has 7.9 inches. The 6th gen has a larger resolution, 2266 by 1488 compared to 2048 by 1536 and both 326 ppi. The brightness is the same, 500 nits. Now the chip A15 Bionic has 16 neural engine. It has a 5-core GPU compared to a 4-core GPU, 16-core neural compared to 8-core neural, which basically means the A15 can do better performances in the graphics and gaming department, but also just working with the operating system would be much smoother and snappier with this chip that I think is the same chip that we can see in the iPhone 14. Now both devices allow for 10 hours of surfing the web on Wi-Fi or watching video. So in the battery department it's the same. Apple Pencil, I already mentioned, supports the 2nd gen, while the 5th only supports the 1st gen. Camera, as you can see, like much better performances with the 6th gen. And what I did not mention yet, there is a flash with the 6th gen that we cannot see with the 5th gen. So I think that is perfect, because in low light scenarios you really need a flash to make a photo, and it can be useful sometimes when you're not carrying your phone to make some photos with the iPad, or just taking photos of like documents. So great improvement. Both devices have Bluetooth 5.0, so no improvements in the 6th when it comes to the Bluetooth. We have USB-C compared to Lightning, and that's it. So that is just a quick video of the specs of these devices and some price tags. And when it comes to the outline of the model, I already mentioned with the 5 we have the home button with the Touch ID at this position right here. We have volume buttons here on the right side, and then at the top we have the power on button. We have audio jack here at the top part, and that is something that you cannot see with the 6. So with the 6, when we start with the bottom, we have the USB-C, we have the speakers. When we look at the top, we can see that camera, we can see volume buttons, I presume volume buttons, stereo speakers. Then we have the power button with the Touch ID, but there is no audio jack, so that is a bit sad. So you cannot, for example, connect it with like external microphone or with your headphones. So you need to connect it with the USB-C connector, which is fine, honestly, or you need to connect it with Bluetooth. So that is just a quick a video of the specs of these devices. Honestly, I think the 6th is worth the upgrade, especially now that you can find it on sale. While in 2023, late 2023, I don't think you should purchase the iPad mini 5 unless, for example, it's for children or it's for someone that is not very demanding of the tasks within Apple. For me personally, I prefer to have one of the latest models, maybe not the latest tech, but like one of the newer versions. And with this device, I expect some more snappier performances that I really enjoy when doing my things, when things load quickly, and also when you have that larger display with a smaller size to carry around, even a little bit lighter. I think for me it's worth the step up, paying a little bit more, selling this device, the iPad mini 5, spending a little bit more and getting myself the 6. For me, this is what works. I also was looking into the iPad Air 5th gen with a wonderful big display with the M1 chip, but I think the iPad mini 6 just has a perk of the portability, that one hand use that the iPad Air doesn't have. So for me personally, using the iPhone Pro, using the MacBook Air, and have one little tablet to carry around, I think works well. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, then please leave me a like, a comment, subscribe to the channel, and see you soon.